Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? So my story, it goes on like this. I am a woman who is from Zim, currently living here in a foreign land overseas. I am staying here with my mom, my sisters, a husband, as well as my brothers and their wives. So we are like a little family, finally here overseas. And going back to Zim, nah, I don't think so. When we came here, it was a very long time ago. When we came here soon after our dad had passed away, he was trying to fix the mess that he had done. My father, as for my father, what hurts me the most about him was that he was quite a good man. He was a victim of his own circumstances. He had tried to force things in a way that he damaged his own reputation and left church, leaving a generational curse for his family. I have one daughter, Brother Nashi, and it seems as if I can't get married. The reason as to why I have said that maybe I cannot get married, it is because when I was still in Zim, I had a man whom I thought I was going to get married to, but that man mysteriously passed away. That was when I started to have a lot of spiritual encounters, seeing even your goblins, Rukwambo topologies. When the man passed away, we just thought that maybe it was just the way that he was going to die. He had an accident about 25 kilometers just outside of Mashingo when he was returning back from visiting his own parents. And after that, he had a fatal road accident and he could not survive. I was totally heartbroken. But what really hurts me is that my family, they knew that with everything that had happened, this was what will be happening to me. Yet they did not inform me about the dangers of dating a man, because this Tokoloshi, it gets so jealous that I am about to get married to another man, just like a normal man will do. So what happened was that in 2008, no, it started in 2005 when my father joined politics. Like back in those days, there used to be your trade unions and whatnot. My father, he was working as a manager at this other factory. He really had a very good life. Like there was no reason for my father to join politics as such. Like my mom, every time, whenever she cries, whenever she remembers my father, she always say that we had an opportunity to leave the country in peace. The time when my father was said to have came back home one night and said that he had decided to join the MDC, a new political party, my mother protested against that idea, and she said that we should not do politics, for our lives were okay. We were living a good life. My mom said, "Why do you want to venture into politics?" But it was said that my father said that he thought that it was necessary for him to join the movement because of what was happening on the ground. So my father then joined, and after my father had joined, that was when he quickly rose through the ranks. The movement kept on growing and growing. Then came the elections. When the elections came, my father did not even know that he was going to be nominated so that he can represent our constituency. When it happened, we had a woman who was our maid, whom I will call Chipo. She was our maid, not her real name. She was working for us at that time. So unfortunately, my father, in his quest wanting to become a member of parliament, my father ended up using our maid for those rituals so that my father can be strengthened spiritually and he can become a member of parliament. But this was because of my uncle. It was all my uncle's idea, who was my mother's elder brother, who had came with the idea for my father to sacrifice our maid so that my father can defeat his opponent when the elections would come around. The reason as to why my uncle came up with this idea, it was because in our area, my father was not known that much. So the man who was going to whom he was going to be contesting against, he was a man who was representing the governing party. and he was already a member of parliament for our constituency for a very long time. So he had grassroots support. So already he had that base of people supporting him. So one night when our uncle was at our place, it was said that my father had gone to the rally, and when there was some violence that happened there, they ran away. That was when he was convinced by my uncle to go and visit Esangoma, because my uncle said that he had gathered some inside information that this man, who was already a member of parliament, he had a snake, a python that he had gotten from Mozambique that he was using to win election. And this man, it was also said that he was using this oil that had been taken from a lion so that people can be afraid of him. And my father then agreed to do the same, to fight in the spiritual realm before they could win the elections in the physical world. Instead of him using the Bible as a Christian, he chose to go to Esangoma. My father was taken to Esangoma. I really do not know where exactly they went. At that time, when my father went there, it was my uncle, my father, and my brothers. They were the ones that went there. But still, they refused to tell me the full details as to what happened. All that they came back with, it was a new dress and a jacket and some shoes. And these clothes, they were given to our maid when our maid was going back to her village for a special leave, and a lot of money which my father gave to her. Later on, I discovered that this was the money that he had given to her so that her relatives can have some money to use on her funeral, to buy her coffin, as well as the food that was going to be eaten on her funeral, but she did not know. And my mom forced her to wear those brand new clothes, and she never came back to Harare again. She started running mad when she arrived in her village, and then it was said that she committed suicide. She went and she jumped into a crocodile-infested river and she committed suicide. But people said that she claimed that she was seeing a man in a black suit who was chasing after her. And my father, he loved wearing black suits at all the times, in which I strongly believe that she was seeing my father who was chasing after her, wanting to kill her. So the election came and my father got defeated. When my father got defeated in the elections, we started to see the spirit of Chipo, our maid. We would see her usually just after the sun would have gone down. When it was a little bit dark, she would be busy doing her maid duties. Sometimes we will see her outside carrying a pot, walking to our house, the main house. Then she'll start to work as if she is preparing a meal for us, until my father became so ill. When my father became so ill, that was when he lost his life. When we were burying our father, my mother then called us into another room and said that we were preparing, going to leave Zim for good, never to come back again because of what she had seen. She still refused to tell us when we were still in Zim what she had seen on our father's funeral. She only told us this when we came to Canada, that she saw our maid. Chipo came to her, her ghost came to her and said that for what you did to me, I am going to finish all of your children and your grandchildren one by one. So we came here, and it was a way of us running away as the advice she had been given by the traditional healer. As for me, they cursed me and I cannot get married because two of the men that I was involved in serious relationships with, both of them, they died in fatal road accidents. So it is a sign that I am not supposed to get married to a man. As what really hurts me is that my father, he used to be a good Christian man, but he went to a traditional healer just to win some elections and he died in the end. My warning to other people is out there is that no matter what you do, try avoiding these traditional healers, because nothing good will come out of them. They will only trap you and they will give you and leave you with a generational curse. They will curse your entire generation. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Just imagine having a snake, a python that you use to win elections. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Have you ever heard about that? Having this oil that you rub on your face, which is taken from a lion so that people can be afraid of you. If you have such a story, you can come and tell me. I'll be waiting on WhatsApp.